broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Back here in Seattle, it's a story that beyond the... With San Francisco quarterback Colin Kaepernick's protest of social injustices and inequalities, he did not stand for the national anthem of the preseason. It sparked a national conversation before the game. The Seahawks interlocked arms as a demonstration of unity. There was a lot of speculation on what the team would do. And with more, let's go downstairs to Evan Washburn.
And Ian, it's important to note with that demonstration, this is part of a larger conversation this entire Seahawks organization has had for a number of months. It's not in direct response to Colin Kaepernick's stance on the anthem, most notably a meeting 2 weeks ago with Dr. Harry Edwards. Edwards is a well-known sociologist that's been at the forefront of race relations and the role sports has in them. Edwards messaged the Seahawks, the difference between a movement and a mob is follow-through. That's what they thought they'd do with this stance right before the anthem, guys.
All right, Evan, and we counted 4 Dolphins, at least from our sightline, 4 Dolphins that did kneel down, including Arian Foster, Jelani Jenkins, Michael Thomas, and Kenny Stills. Seattle opens up with the football off the touchback from the 25. Wilson throwing on first down. That connects with Doug Baldwin. What a duo they were a year ago, with Baldwin going over 1,000 yards and earning a big contract. That covers 7 yards, first play from scrimmage.
And Baldwin told us on Friday that the thing that separates Wilson from a lot of quarterbacks is Wilson's not afraid to fail. He trusts his receivers so much that he'll give him a chance in tight windows.
4 receivers set on a 2nd and 3 now for Seattle. Wilson tosses it to the outside. Catch made by speedy Tyler Lockett in his 2nd year out of Kansas State. And that's good enough for a first down. 6-yard pickup. Russell Wilson, he put up MVP-like numbers last year, and especially in the second half of the season, Dan.
Well, that was the big thing. Once they lost Marshawn Lynch, and we're still not sure about Thomas Rawls, it was Wilson who carried this team. And as you said, those numbers are eye-popping, especially when you add in the numbers that he gets with his legs.
So fresh set of downs for Seattle. Stack 3 receivers, and they look to get Lockett involved again. Catch and run for Lockett. Xavier Howard, the rookie out of Baylor, over there defensively for Miami. On offense for the Seahawks, if there's a question mark about this team, it is on the offensive line. They've moved a lot of pieces around, new faces, including Jamarcus Webb, starting for the injured Jermaine Ifedi, the rookie, out with a twisted ankle. How about Christine Michael? A year ago, if you would have predicted that Christine Michael was starting at running back for the Seahawks, they would have called you crazy. He got traded to Dallas. He's back with Seattle. Wilson, high throw, could not connect with Lockett. Trying to feed the football to Lockett, who went to the Pro Bowl last year as a returner. Defensively for Miami, Jason Jones, a former Seahawk, new member of the Dolphins, along with Mario Williams. We'll see Cameron Wake, of course, as well. Jelani Jenkins was a question mark with ankle trouble, but he's in there. And in the secondary, you think Seattle's going to pick on the rookie, Xavier Howard. He played 1/2 of one preseason game after a procedure in his knee in July. 4 plays, all passes. Adam Gase is certainly familiar with this Seattle offense and defense. Tyler Lockett with Byron Maxwell, a former Seahawk, over there.
It has to be a first turnover of the NFL season for the Seahawks. Are they going to call this incomplete? There's one step, the ball punched out there by Byron Maxwell. And in talking to defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, he thinks Maxwell has that same ability that Peanut Tillman of the Bears, the ability to knock the ball out of the receiver's hands as he did that time.
So first punt of the day, it's John Ryan, the veteran, now in his 11th year. Dangerous Jarvis Landry waiting for it. Contact, Ryan goes down, no flag. Brought in cleanly, and some contact after the catch. But no harm, no foul there. 38-yard punt. Marquise Gray put the pressure on Ryan, who got it off the foot. The questions for Ryan Tannehill: can he take the next step in year 5 of his NFL career? He's got A new coach to work with in Adam Gase, who has been a quarterback whisperer as an assistant. Jarvis Landry with a catch. Landry has nowhere to go. Swarming Seattle D with a flag thrown at the 24. First man there is the gargantuan Cam Chancellor.
It'll be interesting to see with this penalty holding against the Dolphins. Will the Seahawks elect it, or will they take the loss on down here? Dolphins backing up. They lost 3 yards on the play.
Holding. Offense number 10. That penalty is declined. Second down.
You can see the hold right there by Kenny Stills as he's trying to peel the tackler, Jeremy Lane, off of Landry.
So they were looking at either a 1st and 20 or a 2nd and 13. Seattle chose the latter. Arian Foster in his Dolphins debut. Cuts to the outside. Oh, down goes the utility man. Richard Sherman with the push. 8-yard pickup for Foster. Starting offense for Miami. What a spot for Anthony Steen to be in. His first NFL game because of the injury to Mike Pouncey, right hip injury. And Steen gets the nod at center. Foster signing as a free agent, coming over from Houston. Last year, just 4 games because of an Achilles injury. Nickel package for Seattle. Deshaun Shedd. Miami goes empty on a 3rd and 5. Shotgun for Tannehill. Tannehill pulls the trigger. Underneath catch by Landry. Nowhere to run. Bottled up. Maybe got a half-yard. Shed among those there to bring him down, and Miami goes 3 and out.
Well, nobody plays more zone defense than the Seahawks. That allows the defenders to see the quarterback, see how the play is being developed, and then swarm to the ball. Good reaction that time by K.J. Wright out of his linebacker spot. But again, another short pass by Tannehill and the Dolphins. Very conservative.
Second-year punter Matt Darr for Miami, and it is Tyler Lockett, 9.5-yard per return average in his rookie season. They handle the rush. Lockett moves forward, slides for the catch. And he's down there. 44-yard punt. Seattle will get the football for the second time. We are scoreless in Seattle.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. We remember. AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by the new 2017 Acura MDX, precision-crafted performance.
Seahawks have it 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. 5 pass plays on the initial drive. 0 rushing attempts so far for Seattle. Christian Michael is in there. 3 receivers set. Nickel package for Miami and a flag down. Play is whistled dead.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Our referee today is John Hussey. Guilty party there is Gary Gilliam, who was initially slated to start at left tackle, but Bradley Sowell won that job. Came over from Arizona. Gilliam back at his right tackle position where he started last year. The only offensive lineman returning to the position that he played a year ago for the Seahawks. 1st and 15. Take the run. Russell Wilson slides down after the 3-yard pickup. So it's 2nd and 12 now as the Pro Bowler Rashad Jones there for the tackle.
Yeah, read option, faking the ball to Michael, and then getting out of the perimeter. But Jones right there. Great read by Rashad Jones. Ready for that option keep by Russell Wilson.
Jones really stepped forward last season, and his confidence is at an all-time high. He believes he's the best safety in the game when he steps on the field. 2nd and 12. Dump it off. It's Michael. Tries to make a move upfield. Miami is ready for him. Koa Misi over there defensively, allowing his teammates to come over and bring down Christine Michael. No gain.
Yeah, that penalty on first down has backed up the Seahawks now, and now they face a third and about 12. This is where the Dolphins will turn loose their pass rush, and we'll see Ndamukong Suh lining up all over that defensive line this afternoon as he'll try to get to and contain Russell Wilson.
Pete Carroll will turn 65 on Thursday, but a young spirit, Dan.
That's for sure.
3rd and 12. Wilson floated, caught by Procise, and the rookie Procise accelerating for the first down. In his NFL debut at a Notre Dame, catch and run for 13 yards.
Now, he played a little wide receiver at Notre Dame. He's also a tremendous special teams player for the Irish. But how about the effort? When he catches this ball, he still needs to get about 8 yards, maybe even more than that, to pick up the first down. Runs away from the defensive back there, linebacker. That's middle linebacker Kiko Alonso.
So Seattle is on the move. Michael and Tupou in the backfield. Handed off to Michael, driving to the 45, and he picks up a yard, met by Earl Mitchell, who was a question mark for this game. An injured player is Jordan Phillips on his back for Miami, second year out of Oklahoma. They will rotate on that front with Mitchell, Sue, Wake, Williams, Jones, Phillips, Andre Branch as well. We'll step aside. Seattle faces a 2nd and 9 when we come back. 6'6", 335 pounds, massive Jordan Phillips walked to the sideline for Miami.
Well, here they are, engaged right here. That's Glowinski's going to go low. This is a legal block because the block by Webb is not on Phillips there. But this is a safety issue. The NFL's got to do something about chop blocks in general.
Out of the pistol, Kearse with the catch and driven towards the perimeter right around the 50-yard line. 5-yard pickup. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to your favorite team. From the front office to the front row, you'll get instant coverage of every moment from every angle. Download the CBS Sports app now. Seattle at midfield, facing a 3rd and 4, second possession of the afternoon for the Seahawks. Bobby McCain is now in there for Miami in the secondary. Shotgun for Wilson. Gets rid of it quickly and is out in time. Luke Wilson. Because of the injury that Jimmy Graham's been dealing with, Wilson more responsibility in the passing game. That's 7 yards and a first down.
And the pass protection's been pretty good too. Really a good job of finding that void in the zone, but watch how Wilson puts zip on this by using his hips and driving the ball to Wilson away from the defender, Jelani Jenkins.
Russell Wilson led the NFL in passer rating last season. Completion rate was 68%. Flips it upstairs. Doug Baldwin working the sideline, and a push by Howard. 14 yards on the hookup.
Well, Wilson now has completed 8 of his first 10. It's to 6 different receivers. He started off the game completing a pass to Baldwin. Now Baldwin takes this one inside the 30. But no pressure at all by the Dolphin front 4.
Baldwin, one of the best slot receivers in the NFL, maybe the best. Handed off. Christine Michael busting it upfield. Across the 20-yard line, he spilled out after the 12-yard pickup. Michael telling us that he's taking the job more seriously. He's taking things out of his life that don't matter, and it's paying off.
And he's going to delay this along the line of scrimmage, but then he's going to head right for the end zone. Sees the defender with outside leverage, lowers his head, takes it inside the 20. It's a great sign for a kid that's never been in the end zone in the NFL.
First play for Thomas Rawls in the backfield. Tremendous rookie season. And Rawls goes down hard. Thought he had a crack, but Julius Wormsley was there defensively, limits him to a 1-yard pickup. Rawls replaced Marshawn Lynch last season because of the injuries and shocked everybody. He was an undrafted free agent out of Central Michigan. But a broken ankle in December put him on IR, and he's just gotten himself back.
And now Procise lines up out wide as a wide receiver.
And Jordan Phillips returns for Miami. Shotgun. Wilson. A bullet. Incomplete. Jones there defending Jermaine Kearse. And Jones wins the battle.
If this ball is thrown a little bit lower, it may have been a completion, but being thrown high like that, that allowed Jones to come over the top here and strip the ball away from Kearse. Tremendous read by Jones here. You know, he says he's one of the best safeties in the NFL. Well, he's playing on the other side of the field, a couple of good ones, in Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor.
Dan, we've seen Cameron Wake in on third downs. This is the plan for Miami, to conserve energy for Wake and use others on first and second down, including Jason Jones. Third and long. Punt. Wilson trying to break free. Dragged down at the 21. Mario Williams making his Miami debut with a sack.
97 sacks now for Mario Williams, but does he get away with a face mask? Watch the right hand. That's inside the helmet. That is a face mask penalty and should have been called.
The third most sacks over that 10-year time span. Mario Williams. This is a 39-yard attempt for Stephen Hauschka. Highly accurate and reliable for the Seahawks. And he puts Seattle on the board. 3-0 lead here in the first quarter. The drive stopped by Miami, but Pete Carroll, Mr. Positive.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Outback Steakhouse. Bloomin' Great.
Long drive for Seattle, 12 plays, 46 yards. They settle for the 39-yard Hauschka field goal. And the Seahawks strike first. Hauschka now kicking it off. Jakeem Grant, deep man along with Damian Williams, and this is returnable. Williams stood up before he hit the 20-yard line. It's going to be interesting to see how teams handle this kickoff. 17-yard return. Your weekend starts here. Thursday, the Jets have a run-in with the Bills and their old pal, Rex Ryan. Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network.
Yeah, the key to the kickoffs this year, not so much distance, it's going to be height and hang time, allowing the coverage guys, who are all fast, to get down there as they did that time. And a heck of a tackle.
Ryan Tannehill dealing with the crowd noise here in Seattle. It's juiced up. Tannehill, a sidearm pass to Carew, the rookie out of Rutgers with his first NFL grab, 2.5 yards, brought down by Richard Sherman. All right, you're Ryan Tannehill. You've been trying to get this team to the playoffs in your first 4 years in the league. You're told you got a new head coach, new play caller in Adam Gase. What does he have to look forward to in this relationship, Dan?
Well, you know, it's all about trust between him and Gase. They have to believe in each other. They profess to do so, but this is where it counts, under fire for both of them.
They'll go straight ahead. Foster gets knocked backwards. Foster on second effort will be given a 2-yard pickup.
But again, they're trying to just chip away with short passes against this Seahawk defense. They're trying to stay on schedule. And 3rd and 7, as they're facing now, is just about where they want to be.
Adam Gase told us they're not going to make this more complicated than it has to be going against the Seattle defense. He said the Seahawks' simplicity is their biggest strength, but it could be a potential weakness. Tannehill is 3 of 3 for -1 yards. Gets it out to Foster. Arian Foster with a move upfield. Foster down the sideline. Big gain on the catch and run for Foster. Earl Thomas whiffed. 50 yards.
Well, it was a blitz. Tannehill read it perfectly. Watch from this side as Foster comes out of the backfield, and there's going to be nobody picking up Foster. And then he shows he's still got some speed, the ability to make Earl Thomas miss, which is not an easy thing to do. Tremendous move right here on Thomas as he uses that strong right arm to just discard the tackler and pick up extra yards. Big play for Miami.
Dealing with an injury right now for Seattle. It's KJ Wright, the outstanding linebacker. He played at a Pro Bowl level last year. Wright injured on the chase down of Foster.
Yeah, he started grabbing his left hip. Appears to walk off without any limp, so good sign for him and the Seahawks.
And just to add to the point that Gase was making about Seattle's defense, of course, highest of respect levels, and said so in saying that their biggest strength is the fact that they are simple. The weakness part came in saying, hey, at least we're going to know where they are. They're not trying to fool you. They play their way and challenge you to do something about it.
And their way has been awful good last year. Number 2 in total defense, number 1 in rush defense, and number 2 in pass defense.
4 straight years they have allowed the fewest points in the NFL. New set of downs for Miami. Going up the gut for a gain of 3 is Foster. Jay Ajayi, Foster's backup, did not make the trip. That was a coach's decision. He's a healthy scratch. Speculation as to why Ajayi didn't make the trip was based on his reaction possibly to Foster being named the starter. But Adam Gase said that Foster has gotten complete respect in that locker room. The young guys really look up to him. Tannehill underneath, asking Landry to create after the catch. And Bobby Wagner there defensively limiting Landry to a yard on the catch.
Again, a short pass to the outside against the zone, and both Jeremy Lane were there waiting for the receiver Landry and Richard Sherman. They're having more success throwing over the middle.
Tannehill is now 5 of 5, 50 yards.
And no targets to the tight end, Jordan Cameron, yet.
Dolphins in Seattle territory. On 3rd down, Tannehill delivers to Cameron, so the tight end is involved, but not enough for the first down. Bobby Wagner again defensively for Seattle.
It's going to be close, though. They gave him a very favorable mark here, and one that will give Adam Gase his first big decision as an NFL head coach.
Well, Miami indicating they think it's a first down. The officials are going to have to take a closer look. And they're asking the Dolphins players to back off the spot.
Yeah, they're about a foot to 2 feet short. But again, a favorable mark, and one, when you got a big quarterback, 6'4", 216-pound Tannehill, quarterback sneak at times is a good choice.
They extend it. Oh, really close.
I said 2 or 3 inches, didn't I?
Yeah, let's re-roll the tape, please.
No.
DVR?
No.
They're going to come out with 2 tight ends, and Gase is leaving his offense on the field, 4th and inches.
You get the feeling that Adam Gase is an offensive-minded head coach today.
Yeah, a little bit. I've read the background and the resume. It's all offense.
Yeah, it's been good offense.
Gase, of course, was the offensive coordinator with the Denver Broncos when they lost to Seattle in Super Bowl 48.
No, if Pouncey was the center, I would go with the quarterback sneak. I'm not sure that Steen will be up to the task.
What's the play call here from Gase? Fourth and inches, battling the crowd noise and the 12th man. Play clock down to 2. Stuffed! Cam Chancellor! Arian Foster got buried.
Chancellor off the edge, 31 here. Watch him totally unblocked. In fact, Jarvis Landry's block propelled Chancellor into the tackle. It's doubtful if Chancellor would have got there without the help of Jarvis Landry.
Defensive stand by the Seahawks.
Welcome back to Seattle. During the national anthem, the Miami Dolphins, 4 players decided to kneel during the national anthem. Those 4 players included Kenny Stills, Michael Thomas, Arian Foster, and Jelani Jenkins. The Miami Dolphins have released a statement that says, "We encourage all members of our organization to stand at attention during the national anthem. Out of respect and appreciation for the freedoms we are afforded as Americans, we also recognize that it's an individual's right to reflect during the anthem in different ways. We respect these liberties and appreciate the sacrifices that everyone has made for our country." Guys, as we talked to Arian Foster, he made the point during a players-only meeting on Friday that they were going to do separate things. It just couldn't be decisive on the field.
All right, Evan, thanks very much. Procise gets the carry there. Just to wrap it up with Foster, he said in that meeting, players only, what was talked about, whatever you feel during the national anthem is how you feel. Nobody's going to tell you how to feel, but once the game starts, it's all about football. That was his message to his teammates, and he led that discussion on Friday.
Really a contrast between the Seahawks talking about the situation months ago and deciding to stay as one, a unified team. This could be a very divisive issue in a lot of locker rooms.
Shotgun formation. Wilson out of the pocket. Dangerous with his legs. And the baseball slide down just short of the 25-yard line. That's a 9-yard scramble for Russell Wilson. Seattle with a 3-0 lead on Miami. This is a Seahawks squad that lost in the playoffs last year in the divisional round to Carolina, 31-24 after that wild win over Minnesota in the wild card round. They were the number 6 seed.
This is the end.
This is the end. Apparently Jim Morrison being quoted here, the Doors.
Why not?
3-0 Seattle after 1. We'll come back after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We start the second quarter in Seattle. The Seahawks 3, the Dolphins 0. Miami electing to go for it on 4th and inches. Did not get the first down. Adam Gase making the call for Miami. Felt as if that was the right way to go in the first quarter, deep in Seattle territory. And on a 3rd and 3, Kristen Michael trying to extend, and a conservative call there by the Seahawks.
Here's Ndamukong Suh. Got to draw a big circle to get all the way around that 305-pounder. But watch as he just gets rid of Britt. Works to the outside and keeps the Seahawks from picking up a first down. Very conservative call by the Seahawks on that 3rd and short.
And no problem on the 4th and inches call from Gase?
No, I think that it was a proper call. Not being familiar with your opponent, Dolphins don't play the Seahawks but every 4 years, and Landry was not ready for the block on one of the best strong safeties in the NFL, Cam Chancellor.
The punt from Ryan. Grant. Oh, Jakeem Grant runs into a brick wall at the 47, and a flag is down. Cassius Marsh on special teams, 42-yard punt, 14-yard return.
You sure it wasn't Cassius Clay?
Oh.
He dropped him like a... The way that Grant is coming back, this is going to be holding against the illegal block against the Dolphins, but this tremendous hit.
During the return, blocking the back, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
It looked like Grant had something going. He's got tremendous speed, fastest guy on the Dolphins, but he does not see this square up and explosion by Cassius Marsh.
Stung like a bee? A little bit.
He wasn't floating either.
So Miami back it up after the penalty. Cassius Marsh makes the play on special teams. 3rd year out of UCLA, high energy, active, and getting some congratulations along that Seattle sideline after the play. Ryan Tannehill still does not have an incomplete pass. He is 6 of 6, 55 yards. The big play to Arian Foster on a catch that covered 50 yards. Play clock down to 1. And Tannehill had something to say to Anthony Steen.
Well, the 12th man causing the Dolphins to use the timeout. Inability to hear by Steen.
Week 1 continues. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Monday Night Football doubleheader on ESPN. Then Week 2 kicks off Thursday Night Football on NFL Network, CBS, and Twitter. Now that 12th man, it's real here in Seattle. Tremendous atmosphere here at 800 Occidental Avenue South. CenturyLink Field. 114th consecutive sellout. After the timeout, Tannehill. Shotgun. Tannehill, plenty of time. Dials up the long ball. Tannehill, separation. Kenny Stills can't haul it in. A surefire touchdown.
As a reaction of the Dolphin bench, they can't believe. First of all, Stills is 5 yards behind the deepest defender, Earl Thomas. And oh my goodness, or something like that. He closed his hands too soon.
It was there for the taking.
That three-man pass rush gave Tannehill a lot of time and Stills a lot of time to get that deep.
Tannehill, now the rush. Tannehill spun down by Frank Clark.
Yeah, this is the 4th sack of the career for Clark. As he just kind of took his time and looped around and looked for an opening and found it and found Tannehill.
Look, there's a lot of time left, as we know, in this game, but a drop like that can change the whole complexion of the game. Should have been 7 on the board for Miami. Tannehill underneath. Landry zigzagging in traffic, but well short of the first down as he crossed the 30-yard line. They pick up 10 yards on the play.
Let's go back to the drop by Kenny Stills. Bottom of the screen here, and he's just going to run right through the defense here. Thomas expecting a crossing route, but you're not going to see a guy more wide open or more disappointed of letting 6 points slip out of his hands.
Stills acquired in a trade with New Orleans last year. That one's going to be replayed over and over in his mind. Lockett cuts it upfield. Lockett hit from behind as a flag comes down. Michael Thomas on special teams. 46-yard punt and a 20-yard return for Lockett.
He's going to win those illegal blocks by Brock Coyle at about the 27-yard line.
During the return, block in the back, number 52 of the receiving team. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. First down, timeout.
Coming up, the dynamic Russell Wilson will lead the Seahawks offense back onto the field. They maintain a 3-0 lead over Miami. NFL kickoff weekend on CBS. Seahawks 3, Dolphins nothing. 12:26 to go in this first half. Tuesdays this fall, NCIS's Michael Weatherly returns to CBS in a new legal drama, Gold. It premieres Tuesday, September 20th, only CBS.
No bull?
No answer for that, actually. I'll let you stand alone.
Gotcha.
After the penalty, Seahawks have it just across the 15. And it's Thomas Rawls. Grinding those legs. Rawls is back. An excitable 6-yard pickup.
Well, Russell Wilson, 8 of 11 so far to 6 different receivers, getting everybody involved. A lot of passes to the perimeter. One to pro size, picked up a lot of yards, and then just reading the defense, getting the ball out of his hand quickly. No pressure at all from the defense of the Dolphins. No sacks, no knockdowns on Russell Wilson.
Spreading it around in this first half. Thomas Rawls last year led the NFL 5.6 yards per carry in his rookie season. And Rawls driven down by Jelani Jenkins. This Miami defense is going to be better than a year ago. They were numbered 25 in team defense, 19th in points allowed in 2015.
Here's Ndamukong Suh working against Jamarcus Webb, as he just clogs things up and allows Jelani Jenkins. But that's what Suh does, occupies blockers, allows linebackers to run free.
The Seattle team has gotten younger. 15 rookies on the 53-man roster. An infusion of youth. Wilson trying to create downfield. It's kicked off at midfield. Intercepted by Issa Abdul-Quddus, one of the newest members of the Dolphins, formerly with Detroit and New Orleans. Abdul-Quddus with the INT for Miami.
Really a poor decision by Russell Wilson here. He's scrambling around Mario Williams, who does have a sack in the first quarter, coming from the right side, forces him to the side where they don't want him to go. But I'm not sure what Wilson was thinking here, as Abdul-Quddus was just playing center field there, caught the ball at its highest point and gives the Dolphins tremendous field position. There's a late hit on the quarterback that's not called. Looked like Jason Jones with a shoulder on Wilson after he delivered that ball.
One of the new faces for the Dolphins, paying off in this first half for Miami, setting the Dolphins up in Seattle territory at the 42. Foster single setback. Gets the call. Foster, he still glides. Yeah. Boy, he is fun to watch. Undrafted free agent in 2009 and then exploded in 2010. NFL rushing champion, 1,616 yards and 16 touchdowns for the Texans.
And to go along with that calm, gliding type of style, is he's a calming influence to these young Dolphin running backs.
2nd and 4. Feed it to Foster. One cut by Foster. Makes a man miss. Foster with a stiff arm. And he's out of bounds. It was Thomas again who whiffed.
That's right. That's twice now that Foster has put his foot in the ground. Watch the left foot. And just right up the field, running through the tackle of Earl Thomas for 9 yards.
Well, he was the bell cow in Houston. Question as to how he could handle this physically, being the guy in Miami. So far, so good. 6 carries, 28 yards, the 1 catch for 50 yards. Deep drop. Tannehill looking deep, looking for it. Oh! Incomplete. Kenny Stills, the intended receiver.
Boy, that's a matchup you want if you're the quarterback, Tannehill. Getting Stills on a linebacker. Give KJ Wright a lot of credit for running with Stills and making this a difficult angle to complete that ball in the back of the end zone.
Damian Williams is now in. Williams in his 3rd year with the Dolphins, undrafted free agent in 2014. He's been a 3rd down back in previous years. This is a 2nd and 10. Give it to Williams. Nice hold. Williams tried a juke move, and he's held to a 5-yard pickup. Richard Sherman helping in run support. Sherman Bushrod, another new face for Miami with a key block up front.
Well, and Damian Williams should take the key from Arian Foster. He made a move and tried to go around the tackler, Sherman. Foster's been making the move and heading up the field.
Third and manageable. 3rd and 5 for Miami. 9 minutes to go in the first half. 3-0 lead for Seattle. Shotgun Tannehill. Tannehill. Didn't like anything initially. Incomplete. Kenny Stills with Deshaun Shedd in coverage.
Well, the ball is thrown to the field. That allows Shedd to make a play on the ball. If Tannehill leads Stills to the sidelines, it's going to be a completion. But watch the ability of Shedd there. Stills reaching back for that ball. Again, the ball thrown on the run. And easily knocked away by Shed.
It's a 41-yard attempt for Andrew Franks in his second year in the NFL out of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Looking for the tie. He's got it. Knotted up at 3 apiece. Miami is on the board with 8:45 to go in the second quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Genesis. Take a breath of fresh luxury. Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com.
Ryan Tannehill is 7 of 10, 3 incompletions. Those 3 passes were intended for Kenny Stills. The Miami medical staff is currently working on Stills. Obviously, the one that stands out was the deep ball that should have been 6 on the board. After the Franks field goal, Franks kicks it off, and Lockett takes a knee. The Seahawks will have it at the 25-yard line. Still waiting for Russell Wilson to get it going. Seattle's offense has been limited. Defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, Darrell Bevell, led this group to the number 4 overall ranking in total offense last season. 6th year calling the plays for the Seahawks, formerly with Minnesota and Green Bay. They've been held in check so far. Wilson dumps it towards the sideline and incomplete. Tyler Lockett in the vicinity, but Mario Williams puts some heat on Russell Wilson.
Yeah, talk about in the vicinity. This is what defensive coordinator Vance Joseph has to absolutely be thrilled about, containing Russell Wilson and not allowing him to make the big play off of the scramble. That time a rollout that was delayed long enough for Williams to get in on Wilson.
Adam Gase, when he got the job, was told by many people, hey, you got to get an experienced defensive coordinator. And he thought about it and said, no, I want the right guy. And it was Joseph in his first year calling the plays on defense in the NFL. Doug Baldwin, the catch, brought down by Rashad Jones. Joseph was the defensive back coach in Cincinnati, but their paths crossed back in the San Francisco days as young coaches. Gase said, well, you learn a lot about guys when you're both young coaches and you're leaving the building at 1:30 in the morning and you're trying to figure out where your career is going and how to do your job. And they formed a bond back then.
Yeah, and Joseph told me that he wants his defense to be like Seattle's. Not a bad team to aspire to.
3rd and 6. We are tied at 3 with under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Wilson on 3rd down. Delivers to Doug Baldwin. 10-yard reception and a new set of downs for Seattle.
Now Baldwin is the premier slot receiver. That means he's got to be able to make catches in a crowd. This is the trust that Wilson has in his receivers. A tight window, a fastball, and a completion, and a first down.
You asked him, what's the key to being an outstanding slot receiver? First thing he said, spatial awareness. You need to be quick and have to be willing to get into the thick of it and get smacked.
Yeah, and to take a hit from big guys like linebackers and stuff like that. Misi.
Christian Michael with a 3-yard pickup. So Michael was traded to Dallas last year. He eventually got cut, was picked up by Washington, placed on the practice squad, got released there. And at that point, who knew where his career was headed? Pete Carroll gives him a second chance, and he emerges as the starter in training camp with the injury to Thomas Rawls.
He admitted that the Dallas experience matured him. Different player now, second time around.
Play fake. Wilson sets up a deep ball. Flag is down, and too far. Paul Richardson, the intended target. Miami indicating it's a hold against Seattle. Richardson in a matchup with a former Seahawk, Byron Maxwell.
Yeah, Bradley Sowell is going to get called for this holding.
Holding, offense number 78. 10-yard penalty, second down.
And it's right out in front of just about everybody. Watch as the action goes away. And Branch coming with a good pass rush there. The left arm around Branch is enough for the flag to be thrown.
Not much of a running game so far for Seattle. Questions as to how they will replace beast mode Marshawn Lynch, retiring after 9 years in the NFL at the age of 29. Wilson. That toss is on the money to Thomas Rawls. Abdul Qaddus with a tackle along the sideline. 9-yard pickup for Rawls through the air.
And in talking to Darrell Bevel about Thomas Rawls, he used the analogy, he's like a bowling ball of butcher knives.
Excuse me? What lanes do you go to exactly?
Very descriptive. Tough to bring down, I guess.
I'll go with that. 6 minutes to go in this second quarter. Tied at 3, 3rd and 8 for Seattle. Working out of the gun. Gets rid of it. Wilson to Lockett, and it's incomplete. Lockett upsetted himself. It would have been very close to that line to gain. Cameron Wake with the pressure on Wilson, maybe to force an adjustment.
Well, remember, Lockett fumbled earlier in the ball game on a 3rd down play. This ball he lets get to his chest instead of reaching out with his hands, and it bounces off his shoulder pads to the ground.
They called that play earlier as an incomplete pass. It felt like a fumble. So that might be in the back of Lockett's mind here this afternoon in the first half. Landry is the return man. John Ryan, the punter. Again, pressure. Ryan gets it off. Landry backpedals from the 10. Gets around one man. Landry sticks the helmet down and crosses the 25-yard line. With 16 yards on the return, 48-yard punt. Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins hanging in there against Seattle. We are all knotted up. 3 apiece. Second quarter action as we continue on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, beer with your team on it. And by AutoTrader. Find your perfect new, used, or certified car on AutoTrader.
Shaken up on the play, Earl Mitchell came in as a question mark with a calf injury for Miami. Dolphins offense now on the field on a 1st and 10 at the 27. A 4-receiver set. Tannehill is 7 out of 10 for 65 yards. The fake to Williams, the run by Tannehill. And a first down. Tannehill, 6'4", 216 pounds. Got a good block from Jordan Cameron.
This looks like a run all the way. He's going to fake the ball to Williams here and then take off. But remember, this guy is a former wide receiver, not afraid to go head first and pick up the first down. Good for 11 that time.
From the pistol, Williams gets the call, and he's stacked up as he crossed the 40-yard line. 4.5-yard gain.
Interesting thing about Tannehill's stats in the first half. He's 7 out of 10, but he had one of those completions went for 50 yards. The other 6 completions averaged just over a yard. So the big play to Arian Foster, and then the big drop by Kenny Stills.
Tannehill told us more freedom in this offense working with Adam Gase. They see the game in a similar fashion. Said that his head coach is a terrific communicator. Tannehill knocked down, had the time, but couldn't get it off cleanly. Jaron Reed there defensively, the 2nd-round pick from Alabama.
They are very impressed with Jaron Reed. Powerful, and like most players out of Alabama, prepared to play in the NFL. That time at 6'3", got up in the air with his right hand to knock that ball down. That was a sure completion.
Won a national championship with Nick Saban. He goes to the sideline. Seattle can reel in a bunch of productive players up front. This is a 3rd and 5. Tannehill out of the pocket. Tannehill in trouble, and he throws it away. Bobby Wagner, Cliff Averill giving chase to Ryan Tannehill, and the Miami drive stalls.
Well, it's a blitz. It's a rare blitz for Seattle. But watch Bobby Wagner shoot the gap here. That forces Tannehill out of the pocket. Nobody picks up Wagner, and he wisely throws this one away, but still takes a big hit from Wagner.
Defensive coordinator Chris Richard dialing up the right play. Matt Dard, not a lot of pressure to deal with. High punt. Lockett will fake it and allows it to bounce over his head and into the end zone. Seahawks will have it at the 20. 53-yard punt, but a net of 33. The Seahawks' Cliff Averill hosted his 4th annual football and family fun day in his hometown of Green Cove Springs, Florida. Today included a free football clinic for 500 boys and girls and is part of Averill's Family Foundation, which encourages healthy living in children through nutrition and exercise. There is Cliff Averill, the 9-year veteran. It's been such an excellent addition to this Seattle defense, signed as a free agent from Detroit in 2013. Running play. It's Rawls. Good pop there from Rawls and a late flag. Came flying down at the end of the play. 9-yard pickup.
Holding. Offense number 86. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And that's Brandon Williams, the former Dolphin, called on the hold.
And we've yet to see Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, a lot of build-up this week that Jimmy Graham would be out there. Pete Carroll telling us in the meeting that he did not expect him to start, but they would work him in on a pitch count.
And Russell Wilson, who claims that Jimmy's his best friend on the team, asked him if he was ready to go. He says, yeah, let's go. I'm ready to play.
I don't believe he has a medical degree, though, and oftentimes that plays a role, does it not?
Well, I watched him in practice on Friday. He looked really, really smooth and anxious to get out there. No evidence of any problem or limp.
Graham remains on the Seattle sideline. Fake it to Rawls. Wilson, again, pressure. This Miami defense has been all over Russell Wilson. Seattle's offensive line having problems with the Miami D. This time Cameron Wake.
Yeah, they bring Wake in obvious passing situations. That's second down and long. And he still has the quickness coming off that Achilles tear from last year. Wilson feels him and dumps the ball out of bounds.
Appeared in 8 games last season, suffered that injury against New England on Thursday Night Football, signed a 2-year, $15 million deal during the offseason to remain in Miami. 4-time Pro Bowler, one of the leaders of this squad. 2nd and 12. Wilson, nobody home. Not on the same page with Paul Richardson.
Crowd kind of voicing their displeasure at the non-call here. That ball was clearly uncatchable, thrown into the turf, well short of both Maxwell and Richardson.
This has not been crisp for the Seattle offense. Wilson on 3rd down, 3 out of 6. As a whole, Seattle is 3 out of 8. This is a 3rd and long. Handling the pressure, Wilson spins. Taking that wide angle and he throws it away. Pressure from Wake, from Williams. This is exactly what Miami envisioned with Wake and Williams working the edges.
Well, in those 8 games last year, Wake had 7 sacks, so even at 35 years old, he's got the ability. And talk about putting pressure on a quarterback. Again, it was Mario Williams who forces Wilson out of the pocket. Good combination with Williams on one side and Wake on the other in obvious passing situations.
They let Olivier Vernon go as a free agent to the Giants and signed Mario Williams. So far, so good. Jakeem Grant has some room to work with. Brings it in at the 34. Gets clobbered. Mike Morgan on special teams with a statement. 49-yard punt, a 5-yard return.
Boy, earlier it was Cassius Marsh, and this time it's Mike Morgan.
And it was Marsh again as well. It was a combo, Morgan and Marsh, the law firm.
This is where you say, welcome to the NFL, Jakeem Grant.
6th round draft pick out of Texas Tech. Jakeem Grant has gotten tossed around on special teams. He's only 5'7", 172 pounds. So 3:28 to work with here in the second quarter. Seattle 3, Miami 3. Foster lines up as a receiver. They go empty from the gun for Tannehill. Tannehill. Incomplete. Jordan Cameron off his hands. Michael Bennett, the pressure on Tannehill.
Well, that's the type of play the Dolphins need. This is 2 drop passes now. A tough catch for Jordan Cameron, but one you expect him to make. He had to kind of pivot and reach back and couldn't haul it in.
Second and 10 for Miami. Tannehill, one of his last 7 through the air. Foster stacked up. Leading the charge, K.J. Wright. He was not going to give up the corner.
Well, Tannehill started 6 for 6, and then you know what happened? Kenny Stills dropped a sure touchdown. So since that point, Tannehill just 1 of 7.
Clock is rolling, under 3 minutes to play in this first half. Miami trying to avoid a 3 and out. Tannehill talked about communication early in the play clock, hoping to beat some of that noise. And a flag came down, whistling that play dead.
Yeah, Juwan James jumping too soon, the right tackle.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Again, the 12th man doing their job here at the end of the first half.
It's a serious challenge playing here.
It's horrible. The Kingdom wasn't much fun, but this place is even worse.
For the opponent, not for the home team.
Well, I was never the home team here.
That's your personal perspective.
Yes.
3rd and 15. Tannehill underneath. And Foster forced out of bounds. Miami will punt it. 2:18 left in the clock. They pick up 6 yards on the 3rd and long.
So the Seahawks will get the benefit of the 2-minute warning and then all 3 of their timeouts to see if they can get some points at the end of the first half.
Well, for Pete Carroll, he talked about the strong leadership on this team. The core guys are really on it. They recognize that you don't get a lot of opportunities to be great in this league, and they have a chance to be great. Already a Super Bowl title under their belt. We've hit the 2-minute warning. All tied up, 3 apiece in Seattle. Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, latest NFL scores and highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Miami will punt it with Matt Darr. Tyler Lockett waiting at his own 12-yard line for the kick. Darr in his 2nd year from Tennessee. Miami had 2 rookies at kicker and punter last season. Lockett, fair catch. Well covered by the Dolphins. They're going to have it at the 16-yard line. Penalty flag thrown at the 24. Home openers under Pete Carroll. Unblemished record, 6-0. Creating turnovers, something that the Seattle defense has done under Pete. But so far in the turnover differential, -1 today.
Number 33 of the receiving team. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to goal from the end of the kick. First down.
Kelsey McCray called on the hold. So back it up with 1:52 to work with. We know about the home field advantage for Seattle. Last year, not quite as effective as in previous years. They were 7-1 at home in the 2 previous seasons, 2013, 2014. Last year, 5-3 here at CenturyLink Field. When they won games last year, they won 10 of them. Their average margin of victory was 17.9 points per win, highest in the NFL. Kristen Michael, 4-yard pickup.
You'll see how conservative Pete Carroll wants to play this, coming out of deep in their own end of the field. A draw play on first down probably didn't get him enough yards to really open it up.
Here's Wilson operating out of the gun. The shovel. And Lockett is brought down. Penalty marker on the play. And Ndamukong Suh with the stop.
It could be holding again against Seattle.
Holding. Offense number 78. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
Again, what was the question? Potential vulnerability for the Seattle team going into the season? Offensive line.
Yeah, you talked about Bradley Sowell. He's had a tough time so far today. Got called for holding on that play. But again, you kind of got to give the a pass to the offensive lineman with a scrambling quarterback, not expecting Russell Wilson to escape the pocket on that side of the pocket.
Justin Britt is the starting center. He's 6'6", 315. Power up the middle. And it's Kristen Michael. We're down to 1:14 and counting left in this first half. 10-yard pickup for Seattle.
Well, remember, the Dolphins have 2 timeouts as we approach 1 minute to go.
This is a 3rd and 2 for the Seahawks. Under a minute left now. First half. From the gun. Wilson is on the money. That's a first down throw working the sideline. He connects with Doug Baldwin. Clock stops, 52 seconds to play.
Really a good pass, too, because the completion and the momentum of the pass carried Baldwin right to the sideline.
Wilson steps up. Cannot emerge through that pack as Jason Jones collaborates with Jordan Phillips to make sure that Wilson didn't get extra yardage.
And a good sign for the Dolphins that Phillips is back in that defensive line. Ndamukong Suh getting a blow right now, but Phillips had that knee injury earlier. He looks pretty good now.
Horizon Halftime Report is coming up. JB and the rest of the gang back in New York. Latest NFL scores and highlights and a preview. Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. The Jets and the Bills will match up. Both teams coming up short here in Week 1. And that's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 44 seconds to go in this first half. The extended conversation for Adam Gase and Ryan Tannehill. Currently tied at 3. Russell Wilson, 87 yards through the air, 12 yards on the ground. Miami defense has done an excellent job against this Seattle offense. Running game has never been established. And a lot of short passes for Wilson. Tried to air it out a couple of times, and the timing's been off. They go empty on 2nd and 10. Shotgun. Rush coming. Wilson throws on the move. And hits Curse. First down across the 35. Xavier Howard, the defensive back that they were looking to victimize, 15 yards on the pass play.
And finally, Wilson, escaping the pocket, has a receiver find a dead spot in the secondary of the Dolphins. Good pressure from the left side of the offensive set that time, and Kurtz just setting down. Hauschka's longest field goal of his career is 58 yards. Little or no wind today. Perfect kicking conditions on a beautiful sunny day here in Seattle. So with 2 timeouts and 37 seconds to go, a lot of time for Wilson to work it to get Hauschka in range.
First down for Seattle. Still need a good 20-plus yards to get Hauschka an attempt. Shotgun for Wilson. 37 seconds to go in this first half. Wilson taps the ball, hooks a pass. It's on time to Baldwin. Excellent hands by Doug Baldwin with a snatch and a first down into Miami territory, 18 yards.
Great anticipation on the throw by Wilson. He let it go long before Baldwin was breaking open. But that's the trust these two have built over the years. Pretty good catch in a tight window there with the hands. You love to see that trust between a quarterback and his favorite receiver.
Seattle is out of timeouts. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. We're tied at 3. Line of scrimmage is now the 44 of Miami. 172 yards of offense for Seattle. Miami held to 111. First down just across the 45 of the Dolphins. 5 receivers set for Wilson. Wilson tosses underneath, and a modest gain to Christian Michael. Give him a pickup of 5. Clock is rolling. 20 seconds left. Seattle trying to get to the line. Down to 17 seconds left. Wilson snaps a pass to the outside. Big gainer for Luke Wilson. No Jimmy Graham. No problem. 19 yards. 9 seconds to play, second quarter. And certainly now in Hauschka range.
Well, they're going to run one more play, it appears. Keeping Hauschka on the sidelines. This pass has to be to the sideline or to the end zone.
Right now, it's a 38-yard field goal attempt. They're going to take a crack at it, maybe. No. Wilson will toss it towards the stands. Andre Branch put the pressure on Wilson, and here comes Hauschka. Made one from 39 yards away.
Tremendous job by Russell Wilson. They got the ball at the 8-yard line and now have moved it all the way to the 20 and set up Hauschka in real comfortable range.
The snapper is Nolan Freeze, a rookie out of Houston. The punter, John Ryan, will hold it. 38-yard field goal will have to wait. A little bit of second quarter ice for Miami.
Well, it works, doesn't it? Just ask Graham Gano.
Gano good.
He certainly wasn't. You know, he barely made the first kick. That's the perfect timing on that icing timeout. But it should be illegal, too. Once a team gets in field goal position, to call a timeout just as the ball, before the ball is snapped, that's kind of stretching the rules a little bit.
He angled the initial one right and then overcooked it the other way. Denver got the win on opening night in the NFL. 38-yard attempt for Stephen Hauschka, 9-year veteran. Hauschka knocks it through. Seattle hits the locker room with a 6-3 lead over Miami. Dolphins will get the football to start the second half. But the Seahawks with a strong drive to end the second quarter. And Hauschka nails it. End of the first half. The Seahawks 6, the Dolphins 3. We'll come back to Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS Kickoff Weekend. Down it goes, the utility man. It's picked off at midfield by Issa Abdul-Quddus. Getting ready for the start of the second half with the Seahawks leading the Dolphins 6-3. Right now, let's take a look at the first half highlight presented by DirecTV.
This is the last offensive play of the first half. The completion to Luke Wilson for 19 yards. What a drive executed by Russell Wilson. On the drive, he was 5 of 6 for 63 yards, all the way from the 8-yard line to get Hauschka within a real reasonable range, and he converted.
Iron Eagle Dan Fouts along with Evan Washburn down on the sidelines. If you're Miami, you certainly feel good about where you're at. Disconcerting that you allowed Seattle to come down the field, and then the one glaring mistake in that first half, the drop by Kenny Stills and what should have been a sure touchdown.
Yeah, and really the inability to get the ball to the wide receivers. Stills was open for a clear touchdown, but Jarvis Landry has just 4 catches for just 10 yards in that first half. So the Dolphins have got to open things up, and maybe they will on this opening drive of the second half.
How about for Seattle? What'd you take away from that first half from the Seahawks perspective?
Again, it was a good pressure by Miami that took Seattle out of their offense until that last drive. Really no running attack pressure on Russell Wilson.
Grant takes it out of the end zone. Zigzags. Grant looking for an angle. Turns the corner, and it's Hauschka, who is much bigger than the return man with the push. Hauschka goes 6'4", 210. Grant 5'7", 172. As we send it downstairs, check in with Evan Washburn.
And Adam Gase loves the way his defense played, kept his team in this game thus far. Offensively, admitted they did some things defensively they did not expect. They'll have to make adjustments. As for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, he said it's all about the penalties, the 6 penalties in that first half, backing them up offensively. Expect to see Jimmy Graham in this second half, guys.
All right, Evan, thanks very much. Baldwin, the leading receiver for Seattle, 6 catches, 59 yards. Leading receiver for Miami, Arian Foster, 2 catches, 56 yards. One of them went for 50. Stutter step. And Foster picks up 3 on the play. Ball popped loose. Seahawks started celebrating. Miami's got it. It'll be second down. Ataba Rubin was in the middle of that for Seattle, along with KJ Wright. The numbers at halftime, well, the rushing game hasn't been established either side. The one takeaway was the interception for Miami, and that was it. Seattle has not generated any turnovers.
And Miami dealt with a short field after that Caduce interception to lead to their 3 points.
2nd and 7. Tannehill! He waited, and it cost him. Michael Bennett with the sack and the gyration.
Well, Bennett's going to be working against Brandon Albert, the left tackle, and Bennett with a good move to the inside, and then like a good running back just explodes through that hole for that 9-yard sack.
We asked him about how this defense is seen. He said, by his peers and former players, they believe it's elite. Maybe the media doesn't put them in that category as an all-time great defense. He doesn't seem to care. Arian Foster the catch, and he is dropped just across the 40-yard line by Frank Clark. Clark came in, lost a little bit of weight from last year, now in his 2nd season out of Michigan, 2nd-round pick last year, and certainly a guy that can get to the quarterback.
The Seahawks have momentum out of the locker room with that 3 and out, thanks to the sack by Michael Bennett.
Another Matt Dard punt. Tyler Lockett waiting for it at his own 13-yard line. High sailing kick. Backpedaling. Lockett returnable from the 5. Lockett leads his way back towards the sideline and falls forward at the 19. Marquise Gray on special teams after the 53-yard punt. A 14-yard return. 6-3 Seattle. Jimmy Graham is on the field for Seattle, dealing with knee trouble, ruptured patella tendon back in November against Pittsburgh. Wilson throws, low throw handled by Curse. And 6 yards on that first down play from Russell Wilson. So Jimmy Graham obviously brings a different dynamic in the passing game for Seattle. 3-time Pro Bowler. 2011 had that monster season for New Orleans, 99 catches, 1,310 yards, 11 touchdowns. But the drop-off last year, even before the injury, Graham was not as effective as he had been with the Saints. Thomas Rawls going up the middle, Abdul Caduce with a tackle for Miami.
And you got to feel that Graham is highly motivated to get back to that level. I mean, everybody's talking about Gronk being the guy now at the tight end position. But before there was Gronk, there was Jimmy Graham with those 99 catches, especially in the red zone. 53 touchdowns in his career. Out of 434 catches, that's a tremendous ratio.
Huge target, 6'7", 265. Played basketball at Miami. Give up the middle to Rawls, and it will be enough for a first down. So this drive will continue. Also interesting, Dan, to start this drive, the first time we saw Miami in its base defense, 4 defensive backs. So much has changed in the NFL. It's become a sub-package league. Last year, teams used their base defense just just 33% of the time.
Well, the reason the Dolphins did that is because the Seahawks came out with 2 tight ends. So you got big people in there. You've got to match them with big people.
Rawls remains in there. We'll see if he becomes the guy in the backfield in the second half. Michael got his opportunity in the first half. Play fake. Wilson in trouble. Wilson is dropped. And Ndamukong Suh, Portland, Oregon native, 45 tickets here today in Seattle for Suh. It's a loss of 13, and Wilson was limping after the play.
Yeah, Wilson may have an ankle problem here. As you can see him grab for his right ankle as Suh rolls over the top. Really no contact from Suh, but just trying to escape. And now you're thinking about the backup quarterback, Trevon Boykin, a rookie free agent out of TCU.
They only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. They do not have a veteran. It's Boykin, the undrafted free agent. Rawls is stacked up. Gain of 1 on forward progress. Kiko Alonso combining with Julius Wormsley.
Now let's check out the right ankle. You can see Suh steps on his heel and really turns that foot. Wow, that's 305 pounds on the ankle.
And Boykin just put the helmet on the top of his head. He's on alert. It's a 3rd and 22 for Seattle. Seahawks leading at 6-3. Wilson playing a little rope-a-dope.
Wilson can't go. He can't move. He stood dead still in the pocket. When's the last time you saw him stand dead still in the pocket?
Maybe never.
But you can certainly understand why. He gets this snap, cannot put any weight on that right foot, and wisely throws the ball away. Again, Mario Williams in his face, affecting the play.
John Ryan to punt it. The concern right now is for Russell Wilson in that right ankle. Jakeem Grant, who has taken a couple of pops here today on the return. Grant circling. Grant works the sideline, and flags come down.
As you might expect, an illegal block. That got Grant to the sideline, but it's all coming back.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 26 of the receiving team. That foul will be enforced from the spot of the foul. First down, timeout.
So the injury to Russell Wilson certainly didn't look like something Ndamukong Suh was doing on purpose, but he was involved.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. We remember. State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by the Lincoln Motor Company and the exhilarating new Lincoln MKZ.
The bird, the beard, and the flounder.
No, that's a cold salmon.
Oh, I don't know fish here. Jordan Cameron secures it. He got hit by Jeremy Lane. And a gain of 1 on the pass.
They're trying to get Cameron through the back of the backfield there. But again, it's a zone concept. It's a zone defense. Lane sees this coming all the way and delivers a big hit.
Miami trying to pick up the pace here from what we saw in the first half. Tannehill, he's a runner there. And Seattle more than happy to treat him as such. Cam Chancellor with the hit. 1-yard pickup. And very quickly, it's 3rd and 8.
And Tannehill saw big number 31 and got down quickly to avoid a big hit. Now, the 12th man gets to play on 3rd and long.
Miami is 1 of 8 on 3rd downs. First-year center playing his first NFL game. Anthony Steen stepping in for the injured Mike Pouncey. Tannehill gets rid of it, but he got drilled by Wagner. And Tannehill down on the play.
This is twice now that Wagner has affected a play. Watch as he runs free again. And that's a legal hit and a dangerous one as the back of Tannehill's head will hit the turf with Wagner on top. 245 pounds affecting that pass to Landry. And Landry takes a shot from Lane. Getting a little chippy here. That's not even chippy. That's full go.
Sixth punt for Matt Darr. Lockett moving forward. From the 26. Lockett cuts it upfield. Lockett through a hole. And he's chopped down as he crossed the 45 by Spencer Pasinger. 45-yard punt.
Great cut.
22-yard return.
Great cut by Lockett. Looking to go wide, sees the pursuit is to the outside there. Jordan Lucas forced him up the field. Fortunate for the Dolphins, Pasinger is there with one hand to bring down Lockett.
So close. Pete Carroll's working that gum in this third quarter. And Russell Wilson remains in there for Seattle. They took a look at the ankle. Had a tough time putting weight on it.
They got a whole bunch of tape on it. In fact, they taped both his ankles.
Luke Wilson, the motion man. Russell Wilson with a little dump off. Thomas Rawls. Catch and run for Rawls. First down. 11 yards. He took a hit from Abdul Quddus. Send it downstairs. Check in with the third member of our team, Evan Washburn.
And Dan, tape on both ankles just for continuity, but 3 levels of tape on that right ankle. Now the good news is he was able to put weight on it, did actually some hopping on that right ankle, testing the flexion. Clearly affecting his mobility, but he wants to fight through this. Didn't want any part of Boykin heading in this game. Guys, keep an eye on it.
Such a big part of his game, Evan, is extending plays. And that requires him to run around and get out of the pocket. Play clock down to 1. Pitch it. Rawls chewing up yards on a zigzag move to the perimeter.
This is the best thing for that ankle is a running attack. But with Wilson, he can stand on the sidelines and hop around and run up and down the sidelines. But so much of his game is ad-libbing, involuntary movement, where he just reacts to the pressure and moves off the spot. Will he be able to do that? I don't care how much tape he has on his ankles.
A shift at running back. Christian Michael back in. Shotgun on a 2nd and 5. Michael slashing. Takes it to the 30-yard line for a gain of 4. JB, Boomer in New York, NFL Today update.
And Eli Manning pick helps the Cowboys. How about this cut by Ezekiel Elliott? This is going to be an 8-yard run by him. The Dallas Cowboys are going to take the lead 16-13. Pretty impressive young backfield with Prescott and also Ezekiel Elliott. Back to Ian, Dan, and Evan.
Well, you got rookies all over the place. In fact, Seattle has got a bunch of them on this squad. 15, 24 undrafted players on this roster. That leads the NFL. Thomas Rawls did not get it. Rawls had to get to the 30-yard line. He is short. What do you do here?
I think if you're Pete Carroll, you go for it. You've got momentum. But again, you don't have a mobile quarterback, so the quarterback sneak is totally out. It is short by inches. There was no push at all from the offensive line that time. Good penetration by the Dolphins. Stopped Rawls in his tracks, basically.
They'd be looking at a 48-yard field goal attempt for Hauschka. Instead, 4th and inches. Very similar spot to where Miami was earlier when they got stopped by Seattle. First quarter. Play call from Darrell Bevel. On 4th down for the Seahawks. They lead 6-3. Moving pocket. Floater. Caught. And the ball jarred loose. The smack by Abdul Quddus on Doug Baldwin. Seattle will hand it over to Miami on downs. The play selection may come into question on a 4th and inches.
Seattle, previous Miami possession, we saw quarterback Ryan Tannehill take a big hit from Bobby Wagner. Head smacked the turf. consultant on the sideline. He's been cleared of any concussions. He's back in there, guys.
All right, Evan, thanks for the update. Miami takes over after Seattle did not convert on 4th and inches.
Well, what happens here is that Tannehill's going to hit the back of his helmet, and that's about the worst shot you can take, especially when you've got a 245-pound linebacker driving you back like that.
Tannehill on a give. Arian Foster could not clear that first defender, and a flag is down. He got hit along that sideline.
A great job by Richard Sherman forcing him to the sideline, but check out what the penalty is.
I think the question is whether or not he was still in bounds when that final
After the play was over, personal foul, defense, late hit, number 31. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
It's Cam Chancellor. Little extra oomph right at the end of the play. Foster had stepped out with his left foot. We're down to 4:40 to go in the third quarter. Seattle holding on to a 6-3 lead. Miami on the move. Foster waited for the hole. It never developed. Michael Bennett, first man there. No gain on the play. The King of Comedy is back on CBS. Kevin James returns to the place where it all started. Kevin Can Wait. It premieres Monday, September 19th after The Big Bang Theory, only CBS. Foster remains in there. A 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. Up the middle, he crosses midfield for a 3-yard gain. Again, it's Michael Bennett in on the stop for Seattle.
The one thing Adam Gase didn't want to see is have Arian Foster in here for 65 plays or so. But with Ajay back in Miami and Isaiah Peed on the inactive list, Foster's the guy.
Damian Williams backing him up. Kenyon Drake also available, a rookie out of Alabama. 3rd and 7. Tannehill knocked away. Jeremy Lane. Jarvis Landry has not been able to find open room to work.
Well, we started the day talking about the offensive line problems for both teams. Well, when you have offensive line problems, you're going to have quarterback problems. Watch after the play by Lane, the big hit on Tannehill. Again, great job by Lane with the right hand, not interfering with Landry and knocking the ball away.
Matt Darr has been a busy man for Miami. Gets the snap from John Denny. Tyler Lockett under it and brings it in at the 11-yard line. That's where Seattle will open up after the 37-yard punt. 3-point lead for the Seahawks.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx, helping small businesses simplify e-commerce. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Ryan Tannehill, high expectations for him with the coaching change, Adam Gase, and what he's done with quarterbacks in the past. Miami offense has been held to 3 points. Tannehill has taken some big hits. Thomas Rawls carries it for a yard and a half. Abdul Quddus with another hit for Miami. He's been all over the place for the Dolphins. Talking with Clyde Christensen right now, taking a look at some pictures. Christensen now in his 21st year in the NFL. He's the offensive coordinator, but Gase is calling the plays for Miami. For Seattle, it's Russell Wilson. How much is he capable of doing right now physically? His backup is a rookie out of TCU, Trevon Boykin. Wilson, sideline throw to Paul Richardson. It's a first down. 11 yards through the air.
No, that's a good play selection call by Darrell Bevell. A quick pass for Wilson. Him get the ball out of his hand, but you can see he was really struggling dropping back to pass. really showing his toughness here, because that is a really severe ankle sprain he suffered.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark of the third, it's Rawls falling forward, met by Koamisi. That's a 1-yard pickup for Rawls. Just not getting any push along that offensive line. Wilson heavily taped. As Evan described, 3 layers of tape. 6-3, Seattle leading Miami. We're down to 1:50 to play in the third quarter. Seahawks have won 7 straight home openers. Christian Michael. Brought down by Kiko Alonso. 2.5-yard pickup for Michael. So it's third down for Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle's doing a better job in the second half running the ball. Good combination with Michael, who's a guy that will make you miss, and Rawls, who likes to finish it by punishing the tackler. But they've got to continue to get that type of production with Wilson limited.
Seattle lost on the road last season to the Rams in Week 1, overtime 34-31. Miami won on the road in Washington in the season opener 2015. 3rd and 6. Wilson avoiding some trouble and puts it way over the head of Doug Baldwin. Flag is down at the 24.
This may be a late hit on Wilson.
This play was over.
Foul, roughing the passer, number 91 on the defense. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
The play was over, the drive was over, and Cameron Wake will extend it.
Well, Wake was on the ground trying to pull Wilson down by the ankle. Wilson steps out of that. Wake gets up and then drills Wilson in the back for some reason. Clearly, he could see the ball was thrown away by Wilson. Critical mistake by Cameron Wake.
4 penalties against Miami, costing the Dolphins 40 yards, but that one pivotal. So this drive remains alive for Seattle. They place the football at the 43 of the Seahawks. It's amazing how loud this crowd can get, how quiet it gets when Seattle has the football on offense. Michael keeps the legs training, lost it at the end, but the play was whistled dead, and he's out near midfield. Good block by the rookie from Washington, Toniela Tupou.
And as we come to the end of the third quarter, the time of possession, Seattle has an edge of about 10 minutes on the Dolphins.
Jimmy Graham is in, 2 tight ends with Graham and Wilson. They'll run another play here before the start of the fourth. Motion man is Baldwin.
Hey, Hey, even white ball. Dribble.
A check by Wilson with a play clock down to 1. Running flat. Michael getting to the outside. Kristen Michael gallops out of bounds. But that penalty marker is back at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, this will back the Seahawks even.
There were 2 men moving on the play. Number 89 was never set. Illegal shift of the offense. That penalty's 5 yards. Still second down.
So bring it back. The long run by Michael nullified. 5 seconds left in the third.
7 penalties against the Seahawks this afternoon. We still have a quarter to play.
Seattle was the only team to rank in the top 5 last season in scoring and scoring defense. They've been held to 6 points at home in the season opener. Miami very much in it. Seahawks with a 3-point lead as we go to the fourth. We'll return to the Pacific Northwest after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Adam Gase, NFL head coaching debut, the youngest head coach in the league at 38. Pete Carroll, 7th year as the head man of the Seattle Seahawks, 11th year overall as a head coach in the NFL. He'll turn 65 on Thursday, the oldest head man in the NFL. Going head-to-head here as we start the fourth quarter. 6-3 Seattle. Wilson trip. Oh, violent. Rawls goes down. The ball is free, and Miami's got it. Kiko Alonso comes away with a free football.
Now, the guy that made the play was Jordan Phillips. He pushed Mark Glowinski all the way back into Russell Wilson and hit his legs. And that's why Wilson couldn't get to the exchange point. Watch 63 getting pushed back here by Jordan Phillips. Trips Wilson. He has to pitch the ball. Rawls not ready for it, and a huge turnover.
The Dolphins take over at the 36-yard line. Defensive coordinator Vance Joseph in his first game as DC. And the defense comes up huge. Just underway in the fourth. Tannehill fakes the handoff. Looking downfield. Tannehill floats it out of bounds. Pressure from KJ Wright. Tannehill and Russell Wilson have been hit over the last few years more than any quarterbacks in the NFL. And Tannehill, the push by Averill, and there's the athletic skill, the hurdle from Tannehill.
Not only to get over the bench, he had to get over the table, too.
Yeah, that's a combo.
Man, what an athletic move.
4 of his last 13 through the air after starting the day 6 of 6. To the ground game. Foster is bottled up. No gain.
Now the Seattle defense just controlling the Miami passing game with basically a zone defense. And against that rollout, Tannehill, not only could he not find a receiver, he couldn't find any room to run because of the pressure.
Miami 1 of 10 on third downs. This is a 4-receiver set. Shotgun for Tannehill. Tannehill fires. Handled by Landry. First down, Miami. And Landry nearly broke through to take it the distance. 14 yards.
Well, finally, Tannehill recognizes a blitz. It's picked up man-to-man on the outside. A good sharp move there, and this is where Landry is so good. It's after the catch. Here comes the blitz. Wagner up the middle. He's picked up. Tannehill gets it off to Landry for a huge first down for the Dolphins.
5 catches, 22 yards for Jarvis Landry. Had 110 receptions last season, a Miami Dolphins record. 2 tight ends in this formation, Cameron and Sims. Tannehill, bootleg. He's got room to run. Tannehill chugs to the sideline, and he's out of bounds. Chased by Bobby Wagner on the play. Picks up 5 yards using his legs.
Now it's a run all the way after the fake. Tannehill saw the opening to the sidelines, and with his speed, could get there, get out of bounds, and keep Wagner from hitting him again.
Kenyon Drake is in the game. 7th round pick out of Alabama. Shotgun. Tannehill on a 2nd and 5. Knocked up in the air. Incomplete. That ball was up for grabs. Pressure up the middle for Seattle.
The ball is going to get tipped in the air, and it's going to fall to the ground. Looked like Jaron Reed again. The 2nd time today he's done that. But both defenders went to knock down the receiver and didn't recognize that that ball would have been easily intercepted.
3rd and 5. Crowd is re-energized. Tannehill tosses to the sideline. Catch and curl. Carew. First down. Marked down at the 5. 12-yard pass play to the rookie as Lane and Thomas bring him down before he gets to the end zone.
Well, working against Richard Sherman, goes to the inside, and then Carew pushing off against Jeremy Lane. Carew 6'1" with good power and size. Use that strength to pull away from the defensive back.
They traded up to get him in the 3rd round out of Rutgers. 1st and goal. Miami is knocking on the door. Dolphins looking for the lead. Tannehill tosses, incomplete. Arian Foster met by Deshaun Shedd. Shedd is versatile. He's played corner. He's played safety.
He broke on that ball with real good recognition. If he picks it off, he's gone.
Second and goal. Foster shifts to the backfield. Shotgun, Tannehill. Take the handoff. Tannehill is dropped. No gain on the play for Ryan Tannehill. Michael Bennett read it.
And Bennett got help from K.J. Wright. Two of them waiting for that option type of bootleg, faking the ball to Foster up the middle. But the Seahawks well aware of Tannehill's running ability. We're not fooled at all.
Tannehill looking into a sea of green through the back of the end zone. Fans on their feet on a third and goal. Tannehill out of the pocket. Tannehill out of bounds. Didn't even test it. K.J. Wright with a little shove at the end of the play. It'll go down as a sack. Tannehill not taking any chances as the field goal unit comes on.
Well, watch how the Seahawks are just going to rush these four, and the last seven are just going to hang around the goal line and halfway back in the end zone, reading the quarterback and just taking every option away from Tannehill.
27-yard attempt by Andrew Franks. Looking for the tie. It's blocked. No good. Cassius Marsh has been tremendous on special teams.
The left side of the screen, watch Marsh squeeze between and get up there just enough. Ball kicked way too low by Andrew Franks. Huge play by Cassius Marsh.
Seattle maintains the three-point lead. One continues. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Monday Night Football doubleheader on ESPN. Then Week 2 kicks off Thursday Night Football on NFL Network, CBS, and Twitter. 2 trips to the red zone for Miami. No points to show for it. Seattle gets a blocked field goal from Cassius Marsh to preserve the lead. 6-3 Seahawks. 10:41 to go in the fourth. Russell Wilson dealing with ankle trouble. Flips it up to Thomas Rawls. And he is dragged down by Koamisi on the play after the catch.
Well, this is a mistake by the rookie Tunsil. Look at his split here compared to how tight all these other guys are. That allows Marsh to get inside of Jawan James. You can see it being talked to on the sidelines was Tunsil, but Pete Carroll and the Seahawks doing their homework, taking advantage of a rookie mistake by Laramie Tunsil.
2nd and 4, pistol formation for the Seahawks. Rawls knifing through. What an effort. That was Lynch-esque by Thomas Rawls to get the first down. Mario Williams is being evaluated for a concussion. And that's a big hit for this defensive line for Miami. Williams has been in the face of Russell Wilson throughout the day. New set of downs for the Seahawks just across the 30-yard line. Wilson sets it up on a toss. It's complete to Jermaine Kearse. Working against Byron Maxwell, his former teammate, 24 yards.
And he got away with a push-off, too. Maxwell trying to convince the official he was pushed. And Kearse doing a good job of getting his hands on the ball. He got away with a push-off, too. Maxwell trying to convince the official he was pushed. And Kearse doing a good job of getting his hands on the ball. getting Maxwell out of the way, turning and locating the ball, but clearly a push-off by the veteran Jermaine Kearse.
Wilson now 21 of 33, 203 yards with a pick. Seattle time of possession in the Seahawks' favor. Running play. Christian Michael wiggles through. Good run by Michael. Strong block by Webb to the tune of 9 yards.
Well, they're built in the mold of Marshawn Lynch. Michael goes 5'10", 220. Rawls 5'9", 215. Small tackling radius is what the coaches like to say. Hard to get a square shot on either Michael or Rawls.
Michael said, we understand the impact Marshawn Lynch had on this team, trying to fill those shoes, his vision, his style, how to make guys miss. Called him an incredible player. 2nd and 2. Slip down. Kristen Michael lost his footing. Rashad Jones made sure he wasn't going to get up.
Now Vance Joseph calling the safety blitz here. And Rashad Jones, who told us he learned a lot about playing the position from Jeremiah Bell, who was an outstanding safety for the Dolphins. You gotta like the aggressive call that time on 2nd down by Vance Joseph, and the execution by Jones. He got into the backfield as soon as the handoff was made.
A critical 3rd and 6 now. 7:28 to go in the 4th. Jones with 9 tackles today for Miami. Shotgun for Wilson. And a timeout called. 6-3. Seattle in front. 7:20 to play. Your weekend starts here. Thursday, the Jets take on the Bills and their old pal, Rex Ryan. That's Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Well, it came down to Week 17 last year. A Buffalo win kept the Jets out of the playoffs. All the action coming up, CBS and NFL Network, as Week 2 gets underway on Thursday. 3rd and 6 for Seattle.
They've been playing a long time back when the Jets were the New York Titans, the American Football League.
You remember those days?
I do.
3rd down for Seattle. 4 receivers set for Wilson. Fires it. Bounces off of Michael. It's incomplete. Koa Misi matched up with a running back.
And that's just a case of Russell Wilson operating on a bad right ankle, not able to really zip that ball. Can't really push off on that ankle. Rarely will you see him miss a receiver that wide open.
Well, you think back, Week 1 year ago, Jarvis Landry had a punt return for a touchdown that turned out to be the difference in the victory over Washington. Landry will get an opportunity here with John Ryan kicking. Will he ever touch the ball? High kick. And Landry, fair catch. He'll touch it, but he won't run with it. 28-yard punt placed inside the 15. Miami down 3 with the football in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
$67,000 on hand here in Seattle. The Seahawks 6, the Dolphins 3. Tannehill on 1st and 10. Guns it. It's complete out near the 30-yard line to Kenny Stills for a 1st down.
Well, that's a big play coming out of your own end of the field after the change of possession there. Tannehill with his best pass of the day, other than the drop pass by Stills. That one good for 16 yards and good for Kenny Stills to make his first catch of the season.
2 tight ends, Cameron and Sims. Line of scrimmage is the 30. 6:37 remaining in the 4th. Running play. Foster hit from behind and picks up 2 on the play for Miami.
You talk about those 2 tight ends in the game. Jordan Cameron with just 2 catches for 6 yards. Deion Sims yet to be targeted.
Cliff Averill in on that play for Seattle. sets up 2nd and 8. Foster with 38 yards on the ground, 62 receiving yards. Trying to cut through the noise and communicate. Tannehill, play fake, in the pocket, throws to the perimeter. Landry hauls it in. That's a first down for Miami, 9 yards. Tannehill to Landry.
A really good job by Tannehill instructing Arian Foster who to block after the play fake. That gave Tannehill enough time to get back and fire that ball to Landry for another first down. Tough in this atmosphere, too, with all this noise to communicate. Tannehill doing a great job that time.
14 of 25, 129 yards for Tannehill. No touchdowns, but no picks. Foster sets up as a receiver from the gun. No pressure. Tannehill finds the open man, and it's Jarvis Landry accelerating. Landry, big play. Down at the 31-yard line, 28 yards. Landry was by himself, and Tannehill finally located him.
Well, the offensive line holds out the 3-man pass rush. You can see Jaron Reed dropping out, number 90. Landry came from the opposite side of the field because Tannehill had about 5 seconds to find him.
Damian Williams now steps in at running back. 4.5 minutes to go in the fourth. Seattle leading Miami 6-3. Pitch and catch. Williams. Damian Williams breaks a tackle. And Williams is out of bounds inside the 5. Earl Thomas with another miss. Uncharacteristic from the 5-time Pro Bowler.
Perfect play call, too, by Adam Gase. A little screen pass blocking out in front. Look at Steen getting down the field. But Williams, such a dangerous receiver out of the backfield. 29 yards to the 2-yard line. And a worried Pete Carroll.
First and goal for Miami. Tannehill instructing Jordan Cameron. Play clock is down to 4. Tannehill working quickly. Miami looking for the lead. Tannehill buying time, throws it. Too high. Jordan Cameron in the vicinity as Tannehill gets rid of it and lives to see 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and he takes another big shot, too. He's been sacked 3 times this afternoon for 19 yards, but that's the 7th time in the ball game that he's been knocked down.
Second and goal for the Dolphins. 5 receivers set. From the gun, Tannehill will run it into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. The Dolphins take the lead. Ryan Tannehill takes it in.
Quarterback draw all the way, called by Adam Gase. First it's a screen pass to get down to the 2-yard line. Now it's a quarterback draw. Bushrod comes around, and Tannehill takes a big shot from Earl Thomas, but it's too late as he crosses the goal line.
7 plays, 86 yards for Adam Gase's offense. Tannehill, a big smile on his face. He took that pop from Thomas and bounced right up. Miami with a point after, trying to make it 10-6 here in the fourth. Franks had a 27-yard field goal attempt blocked. And the extra point is good. Miami up by 4. Adam Gase calls the quarterback's number on a draw play by Tannehill for pay dirt. To the game time permitting, it's the Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, scores, highlights, all coming up on the Subway postgame show. What a drive by the Dolphins, led by Ryan Tannehill. They take the lead 10-6. Andrew Franks drills it to the back of the end zone. Lockett doesn't have an option. And the Seahawks will have it at the 25 with a banged-up Russell Wilson.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new Chrysler Pacifica, imported from Detroit, and by Subway Restaurants.
One of the great home fields in all of sports, and right now, Seattle needs Russell Wilson to be the Incredible Hulk.
Not that one, though.
Not that particular one. 10-6, Miami in front. Wilson in the pocket. Buys time and throws to the sideline, incomplete. That was a floater for Luke Wilson. Remember, Miami is playing without Mario Williams being evaluated for a concussion. Cameron Wake does not play on every down. He's been used in situations, a lot of third downs or obvious passing situations for Miami.
I would expect to see him real shortly, though, because this is a situation where the Seahawks basically have a sitting duck at quarterback and have to move the ball through the air.
On 2nd and 10, up the middle to Christine Michael and gives Seattle some room to work with after the 8-yard run. Brings up 3rd and short with under 4 minutes to play. 12 carries, 58 yards for Michael in a second stint with the Seahawks. It's a 3rd and 2. Give it to Michael. Circles. Gets hit. It is very close. And that spot could be short.
And it looks like it's about 6 inches short of the 35-yard line.
Jordan Phillips is down for the second time today for Miami. Phillips left earlier. Earl Mitchell sustained an injury as well. And Michael got hit from the side by Kiko Alonso. Well, it gives Pete Carroll a little bit of time to think about this and all the possibilities here as the medical staff checks on Jordan Phillips. It's going to be 4th down and inches. Phillips is up on his feet. What do you do here? 3:25 to play.
And the other thing, going against the Seahawks, they only have 2 timeouts.
Offense remains on the field. They had a 4th down earlier. They got stopped.
And don't the Seahawks miss the beast at this moment.
4th and inches for Seattle. 3:22 and counting left in this 4th quarter. Miami up 10-6. Last year, among the best teams in the NFL on 4th and short. Michael in the backfield. Handoff. Michael's got the first down. He brings Alonso with him. Turns it into a 7-yard gain. This drive continues for the Seahawks. Don't forget, time permitting, Subway postgame show. JB and the gang. Scores and highlights coming up. Subway postgame show. 5 receivers set. Line of scrimmage is the 41. We're down to 2:40 left. Wilson, a quick hitter. Jermaine Kearse bottled up after the catch. 6-yard gain. Alonso and Jones combined on the tackle. 2:27 left.
And plenty of time to get another playoff before the 2-minute warning.
But Seattle down 4. Field goal does not help. 2nd and 4. Wilson out of the gun. Movement is limited. And he gets crushed as he released the football. Christine Michael in the area, but Kiko Alonso was in the face of Wilson. Michael wasn't looking.
Now that's a mistake by Michael. It was clearly a screen pass. And Kiko Alonso with the safety, with the middle linebacker blitz.
So now it's a 3rd and 4. 2:11 left.
Their downs have not been kind to either team. 4 of 15 for Seattle, just 3 of 13 for the Dolphins.
Play clock is down to 3, down to 2. And a timeout called by Miami.
Wow.
As the play clock was about to hit 00. Wilson did get the snap just in time, but the Dolphins used the timeout. This is not what the Seahawks fans expected here today.
Certainly not that one.
NFL kickoff weekend. The Miami Dolphins, a huge underdog, coming on the road in Seattle.
It's a 6.5-hour flight from Miami to Seattle. They came out a day early, and that has proven to be a wise move by Adam Gase. So they're going toe-to-toe with the Seahawks in their own ball yard.
This is the longest trip the Dolphins can make on an NFL map, as long as you don't include London in the equation. And you're right, they came out on Thursday. Full practice on Friday, a walkthrough on Saturday, adjusted, acclimated to West Coast time. Players told us it was a bonding experience in many ways. And now facing a huge 3rd and 4. Russell Wilson sustained a right ankle injury in the 3rd quarter. He has not been the same since. From the gun, Wilson knocked down. It is Ndamukong Suh. He grew up 3 hours south of Seattle in Portland, Oregon.
Watch how he kind of was just on a rush to contain Russell Wilson and doesn't come after him, but reads his eyes and blocks that pass with his elbow. What an athletic move. How high did he get in the air?
And Seattle has to go for it here. 4th down. Miami trying to lock this one down on a 4th and 4. And a timeout called. Seahawks have 1 remaining. The Seahawks, one of the NFL's heavyweights. The one thing about Miami, there was a mystery surrounding them. You didn't really know what to expect because of the coaching change and personnel changes as well. You don't see a lot in preseason. It's very vanilla. The Dolphins have stood up well.
And didn't know much about themselves either. They're finding out a whole lot, though.
I think you're right.
They've got a lot of heart.
2:08 to play. For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The Miami Dolphins, the Seattle Seahawks, Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn, the rest of our CBS crew. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after the game, except on the West Coast. 4th and 4.
Now, don't forget about Jimmy Graham. He's isolated on the weak side of the formation here.
2:08 to play. 4th down for Seattle. Miami trying to hold on. Wilson lofts it. It's complete. Doug Baldwin. Russell Wilson comes through.
And Baldwin got out of bounds with 2 seconds before the 2-minute warning. So it's all good for Seattle. A crossing route by Baldwin as he runs right through the entire zone coverage for 22 yards. 1st down, stopping the clock.
Seattle on the move. 1st down, Seahawks. Wilson running. Slides. As he crosses the 30-yard line, we hit the 2-minute warning. A 4-yard pickup for Wilson. 1:57 to play. Seahawks trying to come from behind at home. The wait is almost over. Be there when The Big Bang Theory kicks off with a star-studded premiere that will have everybody talking. It all happens Monday, September 19th, only CBS. Vance Joseph, in his first game as defensive coordinator, is learning what Russell Wilson time is all about. Seattle has been held to 6 points. An opportunity, though, with 1:57 to go to rally for the win against Miami. A 2nd and 6 in Dolphins territory. Wilson rifles it. It's Jimmy Graham. first catch of the day for Graham, and it's a first down covering 11 yards.
And he's looking for him all the way, too. He's such a big target. He turns his numbers to the quarterback, and Wilson splits the eights.
Shotgun for Russell Wilson. 1:28 left. Wilson tosses to the sideline. Lockett gets hit immediately after the catch by the rookie Howard. 5 yards on the pass play. Russell Wilson, including the playoffs, 18 career game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime, and he did it in the playoffs against Minnesota.
And he drove the team in the first half at the end of the half down to get a field goal, so this is definitely Wilson time.
Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and the September 11th Memorial Museum, followed by a new Big Brother and the season finale of Brain Dead. That's tonight, only CBS. Miami has called a timeout, so the Dolphins have one remaining. Seattle has one left. We have 1:09 left on the clock. A 2nd and 5 from the 12.
That was really the first time that the Dolphins have seen Xavier Howard making a play. Russell Wilson recognizes, obviously, that Howard is a rookie with very little playing experience in the preseason, but he made a solid tackle there to keep the receiver out of the end zone.
Wilson from the gun. Seattle trails 10-6. Wilson fires underneath. Catch made inside the 5. Doug Baldwin. And Seattle inching closer. Under a minute left. 1st and goal, Seahawks.
2 big catches on this drive by Wilson's favorite receiver.
Russell Wilson, 42 pass attempts, a career high.
And half of them on a bad ankle. Look at Baldwin finding that spatial awareness there, huh? Just settling down, turning to the quarterback, giving Wilson a target. And how about that offensive line? It appears now the Dolphins' defensive front four unable to get any pressure on a wounded quarterback.
Miami has called its last timeout. 57 seconds remaining. 1st and goal from the 2 for Seattle.
Yeah, if Russell Wilson were healthy, I would be aware of the quarterback draw, but not in this case. But I'd still like the draw play here. Christian Michael in the backfield.
Seattle trying to come from behind. Wilson hands it off. Michael leaves his feet, and he's brought down after picking up a yard. And Ndamukong Suh lost his helmet. We're down to 44 seconds left. Seattle has the one timeout. It's 2nd and goal for the Seahawks. Wilson, a lofter. It's caught by Baldwin. Touchdown.
This one's coming back.
A flag on the play.
This is an offensive interference here. A pick play to get Baldwin open in the corner of the end zone. Officials all over it.
There is no foul for defensive holding. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Seattle takes the lead. Take a look, Dan.
Well, watch Kearse come down inside. That's a good play by Kearse to avoid the contact. And then Baldwin running away from Bobby McCain, and Wilson right on target perfectly.
So you've seen the replay now. Clean?
Clean play. No holding and no offensive pass interference.
The Seahawks go 14 plays, 75 yards. And Hauschka just missed the extra point. 31 seconds left. And Seattle's lead is 2. Stephen Hauschka. He has been so reliable through the years.
But last year, that ball was blocked or deflected. That's why it missed. Would have been Jason Jones getting in there at 6'5", but clearly that ball was tipped, and that made it sail to the left and not between the uprights.
He missed 4 of them last year.
What an effort by number 98.
He got a little piece of it. And a potential game changer here. A 2-point disparity. Miami has no timeouts left, but we have 31 seconds remaining.
Hauschka missed 4 extra points last year. Remember, last year was the first time they moved the extra point try back. In fact, he had 2 extra points blocked last year. Rarely is it the kicker's fault. That time it was not his fault. The blocking up front betrayed the Seahawks.
Jakeem Grant, Damian Williams are deep. Hauschka on the approach. Grant is going to take it out. In his NFL debut, Grant spun down short of the 20-yard line. 26 seconds remaining. Kevin Pierre-Louis with the tackle on special teams.
Well, 9 catches on the day for Baldwin. This is the biggest one, obviously. A 2-yarder over the top of McCain. Russell Wilson playing tough today after that ankle injury. What a leader.
And on cue, the crowd doing its part. Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins have 26 seconds to work with. Andrew Franks has a career long of 53. They need to get around 50 yards. Tannehill dials up a deep ball. Tannehill had Stills, but it's too far over his head. Cam Chancellor back there. Second down, 20 seconds to play.
There was an opportunity for that ball to be dropped into Stills. Chancellor coming over late. Ball well overthrown. But that would have been your 50 yards right there if he makes that catch.
Now it's Miami in rally mode. 20 seconds left. Tannehill in trouble. Tannehill has the ball knocked away out along the sideline. It was out of bounds. Cassius Marsh with a strip. Miami will retain it.
And one of the officials wanted to give it to Seattle, but another big play by Marsh. Tannehill out of bounds when he touches this ball.
The ball we brought back to the spot of the fumble. 3rd down.
It was Frank Clark on the recovery, but clearly he was along the white on the sideline.
Probably the only good thing about that play, Ian, stop the clock. The only good thing. Great pressure up the middle.
Only 12 seconds left. The 12th man having an impact. Miami down by 2, but the Dolphins are back at their own 9-yard line. Tannehill. Devoured! Thrown down in the end zone. It's over. Cliff Averill. Seattle wins it. Miami was trying to pull off a shocker. The clock expired before the sack. So no safety here for Seattle. The Seahawks get the W on NFL kickoff weekend. Seattle comes from behind. Russell Wilson to Doug Baldwin, the game winner. Final score in the Pacific Northwest, the Seahawks 12, the Dolphins 10. Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by a new Big Brother in the season finale of Brain Dead. For Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn, the rest of our crew, I'm Ian Eagle saying so long from Seattle. Pete Carroll and the Seahawks get it done over the Dolphins. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.